What's up, guys? It's Cash Flow Cart. I've not recorded in about 10 days. Last week I was on vacation with my family, so I had two videos come out that I had scheduled, but it's good to be back recording, and I hope everyone had a great holiday. I obviously did not post a video on Christmas, but this video will come out on Thursday. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about, is dividend investing a good strategy? Is it the right strategy for you? If you have not started your dividend investing journey, or you have and you're still skeptical, there's a lot we need to cover. And first off, we're going to start off with, what is a dividend? And let's get into that. What is a dividend? Okay, before we get into kind of the pitch for dividend investing, real briefly, we're going to touch on, some essential math we need to understand how a dividend works. So a dividend is a way a company can return value to shareholders using their free cash flow. Okay, so after a company is paid for operating expenses and capital expenditures, they're going to have free cash flow every year, ideally. With that free cash flow, they can either reinvest into the business, the core business, they can acquire new companies, they can pay dividends to shareholders. They have a lot of different options with this free cash flow. And, one of the choices they may make is to pay a dividend to shareholders. Okay, so if we have a $25 per share stock, okay, and that stock wants to return $1 to shareholders in the form of a dividend every year, that's going to be a 4% dividend yield. Okay, I know this seems pretty elementary, but we're going to need to make sure we have, a good base understanding. The way you get this 4% dividend yield, you do the $1 dividend per annum per year divided by that 25. 1 divided by the 25, that's 4%. Okay? And now that we understand that, we can dive into, one of the reasons why dividend investing works so well for me, and why oftentimes dividend stocks are less volatile and they can outperform in the long term. Let's get into it. Please bear with me here. We had to get some basic math out of the way. I promise we're going to get to the main idea of this. So again, if you're questioning whether dividend investing, works, whether it's for you, you've probably seen some graphs like this, S&P 500 reinvesting dividends, S&P 500 no dividends. You probably see this and you realize, okay, dividend investing can make up a big component of total return. So, why not incorporate dividends into, kind of my investing strategy? Maybe the sell for you was that oftentimes dividend paying stocks on average tend to be less volatile. I guess you can think of them as sleep better at night investments. Okay, this is according to Fidelity. And then finally, we can get into it. Is dividend investing a good strategy? Let's go back to the board. Okay, so we've talked a lot about, dividend stocks being less volatile over the long term. Now we're going to go through some numbers. So guys, just to refresh, we had the $25 stock, okay, paying a 4% dividend yield. That's going to come out to $1, annually. Whether that's quarterly or monthly payments, we're not going to worry about that right now. So what's important to understand about this is this 4% here is going to represent, a component to investors of the total return they could get in a dividend stock. So total return, we'll say TR, that's going to be the dividend yield. This is, in this case, 4%. It's going to be plus, the share price appreciation. So plus growth in share price. We'll just say growth. Okay? It's very important to understand. So back to this stock, the $25 stock. I don't know if I should have used a real ticker, or we can just, talk about, I guess, a made up stock. $25 a share, 4%. Now, in dividend growth investing, we invest in companies that are going to grow their dividend year after year. So this $1 per share dividend, let's say next year, that's $1.05. Does that make sense? Now this $25 stock has a dividend yield of 4.2%. Are we following? Because now, instead of doing $1 divided by 25, we're doing $1.05 divided by that same 25. However, we've already talked about the market pricing, the dividend component of this stock's total return as 4%. Okay? So for this stock in this stage of its, growth, in this stage of this company's maturity, investors are saying, okay, we want 4%, kind of in that guaranteed aspect of the dividend. So now when the yield goes up to 4.2%, essentially they're getting more bang for their buck. And what can happen here is, this 4.2% can kind of be bid down back to 4%, right? So 4% dividend yield. We still have that $1.05, the new increase. But now what's the share price got to be for this math to work out? It's got to be $26.25. So do we see here, how, regardless of what's happening in terms of the company's, growth prospects, we see how value can be created apart from just this dividend. We see why dividend growth stock investing works. Okay. I hope this example made some sense. I guess we'll see. Thank you, guys. I hope I was able to illustrate that point best I could with the whiteboard. I'm feeling a little rusty, guys. Like I said, I have not recorded in 10 days, but we're going to keep the content coming. So, in case you want to see the total return equation I was kind of trying to reference there, P end minus P start, that's just, a stock price at the end of a period minus at the start. I guess that's, what you purchase the stock at. That's going to be the growth component we mentioned plus the dividend, okay? Divided by, how much you bought the stock for. That's going to be the total return. But what I really wanted to drive home today, guys, is, dividend growth investing works really well because as a company continues to increase their dividend, it's going to kind of act as, I guess, a benchmark for how a stock can trade in terms of its dividend yield. And this is going to smooth out volatility. We're going to look at this from a lot of different angles, but today I thought, the total return aspect was the best thing we could go over. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, I'm Cash Flow Cart. I'm a 22-year-old dividend growth investor. I've been doing this for a while, and if you are subscribed to the channel, thank you so much, everyone. I've got a lot of big stuff coming next year. I'm really excited. And if you want to join me for the journey, that'd be amazing. Anyway, take care.